Welcome back to Weekend Today. Australian duo Rinky Hijikata and Jason Kubler have claimed victory at Melbourne Park, winning the men's double final in 3 straight sets. Such an amazing point to finish on. And in the post-match interview, the Sydney Friends revealed they were happy to win just 1 game together at the Oz Open, but incredibly strung together 6 straight victories. Let's bring in today's talkers, Nationals leader David Littleproud and Independent MP Sophie Scamps. Good morning to both of you. David, I mean, how good was it? The boys, they were playing together for the first time, local wild cards, you know, it's a pretty epic success story. It was so good to see them win.
A great Australian success story, but what a way to finish the Oz Open. And I think that, you know, when we had Nick Kyrgios pull out and there was a little bit of lost interest by the Australian public to come through, and they came from nowhere. It's a great Australian success story. These guys came from nowhere. We had the Special Ks last year, and then these guys came through and smoked it all the way through. I think Australian tennis should be proud. I mean, we've had Ash Barty, we've got the Special Ks last year, and now these 2 guys. Australian tennis is in good shape, and to the administrators, good on you, and to the Open, all they've done, they've put on a great tournament.
Yeah, they sure have. What do you think about their new nickname, Just Right, David?
Yeah, look, I was trying to think of one, but you're probably spot on there. My bride's half Japanese, so I was a bit careful about how I used the name there, but that's probably a good one to put.
And Sophie, I mean, it's just so good to see. They went into this, you know, no expectations, and it's a good, you know, they're great role models and a good lesson for, you know, the kids that are coming up the ranks just to keep going. And yeah, it's good.
I know, it's fantastic. As David said, they absolutely smoked it, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. And Australians love an underdog, so the story is just fantastic, and it does show the depth in Australian tennis as well. And it also is that inspiration. There's so many athletes out there that are working hard, working as hard as those who are at the top, and to get that recognition is just fantastic.
Especially for Jason Kubler, who, you know, he was junior world champion, then he had 6 knee injuries and 6 knee injury surgeries, I should say. So to see him come out on top and hold that trophy aloft was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, just incredible. Congratulations to you boys.
Yeah, and we'll see plenty more of them, that's for sure. Moving on, in South Australian public schools are leading the way when it comes to artificial intelligence, allowing students to use the technology in lessons except during exams and tests. Sophie, this is unlike other states, you know, Queensland and New South Wales. They have, you know, the AI website ChatGPT. It's been banned there. What are your thoughts on this? How is this going to work?
Look, it's a really vexed question, isn't it? And I can understand where South Australia is coming from in the need to control the use of this AI, but I have real concerns about this for our children's education, because education is all about creating creative minds, critical thinkers, and, you know, that curiosity. So if we're being spoon-fed by a computer, where are those new ideas and that innovation going to come from? So I have concerns. It's going to be a difficult issue to manage going forward.
What are your thoughts, David? I mean, how important is it that we embrace AI as an educational tool, and how tricky is it going to be for teachers?
Yeah, I think Soph's right on this one. We've got to get the balance right, and I think as legislators, this is a really difficult question that we're going to have to tackle. As legislators, it's not just in education, I think it's right through life. As technology is evolving, we're going to have to be careful about how we evolve with it. And as Agriculture Minister, I actually used artificial intelligence in biosecurity. In fact, we're going to use that in all our airports to be able to pick up organic and plant matter to pick it out of your bag. So there is a role for AI, but I think when you get to creating the next generation of minds, we've got to be careful about how we implement it, how we use it. We need to get the balance right, and I think this is where it's going to take a lot of more research, but that research is difficult to have because we're at the infancy of this technology. So I think it's important that we look at this. It's something that's coming, but I think we get the balance right. And as legislators, I think there's a point where we're going to have to inject ourselves at some point very soon to make sure we use this technology, not just in education, but in broader society properly.
Yeah, and it's going to be challenging. Now, on to the last story. It could be time to rethink your friendships. New data revealing 1 in 4 Aussies are owed money by their mates, with men more likely to be left out of pocket than women. David, have you got any mates that you want to give a shout out to? Do they owe you money?
Yeah, I'm probably the one that's borrowed the lazy 50 at the pub and forgot to pay it back. So, or I didn't. It was my shout and I left. To all my mates, I'm sorry. We'll be at the pub next week and I'll make sure I make up for it.
Well, you said it on national TV now, though, so it's your shout at the pub. Sophie, you know, what kind of things we usually see unpaid, you know, tickets that people haven't paid their mates back for, or splitting restaurant bills? That's another common one.
Yes, look, it's a tricky issue, isn't it? But I think if you find yourself constantly footing the bill, you've got to ask yourself, you know, when are you going to stop doing that as well? But, Dave, I think you've got to pull up your socks on this one. But the other thing I would say, we are often in a situation where we do want to help our friends. And if we are in that situation, then I think you've got to understand that you might not be getting that money back. But just being really clear up front, I think, is really important.
Yeah, to try and avoid those awkward situations.
Yeah, communication. It always helps.
All right, Sophie and